bidiri manakano atụghị nchekwa ọnụ ekelekwa nga ekele ọnụ dodori sabọnụ kpọnụ m ekele elu mmụọ ka ibe elu ọkụzi egwegwe m ndị ekwuribe anyị nụ ọdụ m ekelekwa agụ ọdụ m ekelekwa agụ ọdụ m ekelekwa agụ na ngwụ wọbata obie na ngwụ wọbata obie mabụletara Biafra ka obi edere anyị nụ alụrụ egbu ome na ndị na-eme m ife alụrụ egbu ome bụletara Biafra ka obi dị ụmụ mmadụ dodori ọtụtụ ịgbalụ n'akwa ka nna ya owulo olu sigba na elu nya ka obi dị ụmụ mmanụ mmanụ afagharị tinye ịkpa m n'akpa metenarị n'ife ime m n'aka memenarị n'ife ịkpazie m n'ọnụ ma ekwu narị iyi n'okwu nnu isi na ihe bịa convention kemgbe 29 Novemba na Latinu na-abatara Disemba 3 declare anyị Biafra anụ nwezi ka imelu m ka obi dị m mma n'afagharị isi n'ihu eze akpata n'obi onye a na-akpọ nwere ife ọ na-eme na-azabata n'obi nwere ife ọ na-eme na-ezebata n'obi ụda adụ m ife ife abịanụ ewetara anyị Biafra be anyị nụ oge adị anyị mmanụ anyị emerụ ka isi emeri ma mere anyị ka isi emenụ asị aka nnukwu akaebe akwa aka n'idodori mere anyị kiri na nkwa ya esoghị na asụsụ tie gị ikenụ isi na-egbe ebiri n'elu anyị edebe na ala anyị edebe n'elu onye si na ọ na-afụ anyị eme ya ọfụ n'anya anyị ọkwa isi na onwe ka isi kwado ori anyị eme ya ibe ha afụ n'anya nụ onye si na nke anyị na-eme ya adụ ma ya nwere ike eti na nke anyị nụ onye si na isi na awa ga-eji nke ewere na-aja nụ dodori ekelekwa gị eke ụbọchị eke na-aga alụrụ ọfọ dodori ma gbalụ ngụzụ ụbọchị ekenu ma mmadụ ya edekọ oge elu ụmụ ma nwa alụrụ oju ụbọkọ ngochasịara ụnụ ori na-atọ n'ịcha anaka ugo na mmiri mmanụ ugo na-atụ ugo alụ ụlọ onye ka na-ada ka na gọlụ ụta bụ ụbọchị ekenu eke kere ikpe eke weta ife ọmarị ọdụ m ekelekwa gị n'okwu ekwe ego na ọmaka ya emelu ụnụ na mmụọ ya apụ apụ mkpata ọgbata ya apụ apụ wee mkpa ahụ mmụọ na-apụ apụ mmụọ oge mụ siri na agwa alụmokwu n'afagharị kwamife ma agwa ike obi dị gị mma n'onu eri maka ịkpa m n'ọkpa mejenarị n'ife na ịkpa m n'aka ọbara tụrụ ọbara ya arụghị ọbara tụrụ eri ife na-ekwu n'anya arị atụrụ iso na ndị odi ndị akara anọrị mgbamele anyị gobido anyị mmanụ na Naijiria adọzi nwa ọnọdụ ori maka na mkpakọtasị obodo afọ na manya natakwa rio mana ibulatara eri afọ na ọnọdụ eri dodori ọdụ na-ekelekwa alụ na eze agụtara obi ọnụmekenekwa elu ọgbakọbalụ m na nwere mgbe ịgbalụ ndị zu ọsọ dodori na ha ma ife ọdọgwu na-elu ha nụ iwe chiri medal atụghatawa ha si anyị chọrọ ime ka ha fụ n'anya arị mgbe bunatara Biafra ka obido ụmụ mmanụ bunatara Biafra ka obido ụmụ mmanụ na-atụkwa n'azụ ụgbọ m ife oyimi na akọ n'oyi ihe melu m ka obido ụmụ mmanụ enweghị ihe ọgụ n'okwu eyi sigụpụtara Biafra ka anyị nwee n'onwe anyị dodori ekele kele n'ọlụ m na ndị ka anọ ebe nyere ka igwe kwụsị ntolu ụlọ anyị eme ka a gwara anyị dodori otu ụlọ tiri weta maka na obi ịbata kachi n'obi nụ ka ebụrụ mgbọrọgwụ na ụdị enyi ma mere anyị emelu oyi Finland be anyị ndị lati onu m ekelekwa unu elezasa stọp onu m ekelekwa ego founder onu m ekelekwa ego adanda bụ na ndị ekele onu m ekelekwa ego achara ugo nwaanyị ọgba ugegbe oyibo nụ onu m ekele egu n'okwu eyi nwakọbaka esi eme ọdịnala dodori onu m ekelekwa unu donu ka ọnụ m kenekwala unu ka unu ha wee kpuchie ya onu m ekenekwa unu ndị muvin tren onu m ekenekwa unu lizin ọfisa n'obodo niile onu m ekenekwa unu ndị banyị nọ France onu m ekenekwa unu Germany onu m ekenekwa unu ndị obodo unu onu m ekenekwa unu onu m ekenekwa unu eme ka obidiri mma n'akanụ atụghị nchekwa ọnụ ekelekwa nga ekele ọnụ dodori sabọnụ kpọnụ m ekele elu mmụọ ka ibe elu ọkụzi egwegwe m ndị ekwuribe anyị nụ ọdụ m ekelekwa agụ ọdụ m ekelekwa agụ ọdụ m ekelekwa agụ si na ngwụ wọbata obie na ngwụ wọbata obie ma bụletara Biafra ka obi edere anyị nụ alụrụ egbu ome na ndị na-eme m ife alụrụ egbu ome bụletara Biafra ka obido ụmụ mmadụ dodori What if you want to know what kind of young no sick down here? You go to Mumano. Malafari. Fini I'm not a metal if you remember like a memory in if you pass them on me.
Oh, yeah, Kurukane, man. Over to be here. Kurukane, man. Oh, you nam. Here, I go to President the zoo police now, checkpoint in Biafra land.
njem na America anyị bịa ka ibe leta nwanne anyị nwoke bụ nna anyị n'obodo a bụ onye anyị nwụrịla anya na nchekwube na eziokwu nke ya nwa na onye ji guzo na eziokwu a ga na-edu ụmụ Biafra na-aga n'ihu ọ ga na-edu IPOB na-aga n'ihu anyị bịara n'ụlọ ya nabata anyị were obi ọcha na obi udo wee nabata anyị anyị na-asị na ọ ga-adịrị ya na mma na ezinụlọ ya na mma anyị na-asị na ihe ọwụla anyị chọrọ bịa mere ka anyị ga-enwetarịrị ya n'ihi na ihe anyị na-ekwu okwu mgbe na-ewu n'ọnwụ ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ nwa mmụọ emegbula nwa mmadụ nwa mmiri emegbula nwa mmụọ anyị na-asị na Biafra ga-abịara na ndụ na-awụghị n'ọnwụ anyị ga-eri uru ọmụmụ anyị ga-eri uru akụ na ụba n'ime Biafra anyị na-asị na onye ọwụla pụtara na sị na Biafra agaghị adị onye ahụ agaghị adị anyị anaghị asị emebere ugo obere nke si bebere ka ya gosi nke ọ ga-ebe anyị na-asị na nkụ ga-ekwe ọ ga-ede ọ ga-anwụ ọ bụ eziokwu ka anyị ji na-aga njem a ọ bụ ịhụnanya ka anyị ji na-aga ofu obi anyị na-asị onye ọbụla hụrụ eziokwu ji ide eziokwu aka n'ihi na ọ bụ eziokwu bụ ndụ ọ bụghị okwu asị anyị na-asị na ọ ga-ada anyị niile na mma anyị ga-ahụ echi n'ihi na echi anaghị agwụ agwụ anyị na-arịọ Chukwu okike abịa ma ka onye anyị ndụ nye anyị ahụ isi ike nye anyị ngọzi nke ya nye anyị ịhụnanya ekpere niile ka anyị na-ekpe ọwụ ka onye bi n'ime eluigwe ka o wee nụrụ olu anyị wee gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka wee zọpụta anyị na akpa niile nke na-akpa anyị nke bụ Biafra anyị na-asị na ikpete maazụ anyị ga-enye aha nsị ụtụtụ na nsọpụrụ na-eji ama site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi
o meriwo n'izu ndị ya Abakare mama dawora una pori meri nandi win the war Python dance 1 Python dance 2 na Python dance 3 una pori meri nandi win the war Python dance 1 Python dance 2 na Python dance 3 una pori meri nandi bụ onye du aịkpọ o meriwo n'izu ndị ya Abakare mama ndawora unu abụghị meri Nnamdi win the war Python dance 1 Python dance 2 na Python dance 3 unu abụghị Nnamdi win the war.
Bytonders 1, Bytonders 2, and Bytonders 3.
Una bụghị imeri Nnamdi.
Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on this very amazing program. We appreciate you wherever you are joining us from. We thank you. We appreciate you for being part of this program. I thank you so much for being part of the program. We have come once again, as we always do, to preach the gospel of Biafra. Wherever you are, please like and share the program. Share the program to family and friends. Share the program to people around you. Make sure you invite somebody to this program so that they can come and join us to hear the gospel of Biafra. It is very important. We must preach this gospel, and the whole world must hear us. Wherever you are as a Biafran, I welcome you to this very program. As you join, don't just be there. Invite somebody. Click like the program and invite somebody. Very important, so that we can have a full house. You know that the social media network does not help us to promote our program. It is you that will do the promotion. How do you do it? You do it by liking the program, by sharing. I welcome everyone that have connected. And from my end, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greetings according to your time zone. If you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, like, and share. Very important. My fellow Biafrans, we have come once again to do what we know how to do best. The restoration of independent state of Biafra is something that no human being will stop. We are moving ahead to restore Biafra, no matter what the enemies are saying, no matter what they are doing, no matter their propaganda and blackmail. Biafra must be restored. We are not waiting for anybody from any corner to come and push us, but we will continue to make our voice heard across the world. There are a lot of propaganda out there. There are a lot of blackmails out there. But I want you as a Biafran that have joined this platform today to be focused. Be focused. Do not allow anybody to push you away. Do not allow anybody to try to undermine you. Do not allow anybody to try to talk down on you. In this platform where we are today, open your ears, open your heart, listen with your heart, listen with your mind. Make sure you follow up, because information is power. If you have the information, I bet you have no reason to be afraid. That is why we urge you to pay attention. And before we go ahead to introduce the topic of today, I want us to first of all hear this following announcement. They are important events that is coming up as we wait and prepare for the restoration of the independent state of Biafra, as we wait for the redeclaration of the independent state of Biafra. We prepare for the events that are coming up. And I want to remind you of those events so that you don't say you were not told.
We know Biafra. We know Afro. We know BFR, Raffle Jingo. My people, follow who no road. His Excellency Simon Ekpanjoku. Naim they carry us enter Biafra. He they play the show. No be lie, the good guy, Prime Minister of the Republic Government, in exile, went there for Obodo Yibo, Finland. With him government, na him they do the wonder. Say make you join, follow up, he go sweet you for body. Freedom today, better for you. And your picking them, I dey tell you, e con still bring ogbonge raffle draw with big money when you go win. I dey tell you, no be lie. Starting from on the 29th of November, go reach December 3rd. Now this thing dey happen 2024. And make I shock you, the money, it makes sense well. $20 and total winning prize $10,000. A first prize $5,000, third prize $2,000. BFR. No sit down, no sit down. Look, na dog name. They want from here gather money to build Biafra, where you they cry for sins. You go also win too. No play.
The Texas Liaison USA is welcoming our Obataobi, His Excellency Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, to the United States of America, USA, for a town hall meeting. Therefore, we're inviting all wonderful people of Biafra, friends of Biafrans, well-wishers, and all lovers of freedom to this great event. Yeehaw! We move!
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us once again. I welcome everyone that has connected wherever you are connecting from. Thank you for being part of this program. We are going to kick off the program because there is no time. We don't have to waste much time because we have a lot of things to do. Today we choose a topic which says the monster in political jacket exposed in their living in bondage mentality as Biafra Republic Prime Minister win big. My fellow Biafrans, a lot has been happening lately, more especially from the current news that we had as the enemy of the Biafran people celebrate his birthday. We had some people giving him accolade and greeting him from all angles. And the birthday of the enemy of Biafra have also raised up so many dusts, has also revealed so many things that are hidden. They don't want to talk about it. But today, they are talking about it, and we can talk about it. Wherever you are as a Biafran. First of all, I want you to know that the only solution to the problem you are facing today is because you are a Nigerian. The reason why the people, indigenous people in the zoo are facing hunger is because they are Nigerian. The reason they are facing insecurity is because they are Nigerian. Excuse me. The reason they are facing failure is because they are Nigerian. And as long as you continue to queue at the back of that name Nigeria, you will continue to face insecurity. You will continue to face failure. You will continue to face hunger. I want to remind you that millions of Biafrans lost their life because some idiots wanted to keep Nigeria. Millions of Biafrans lost their life because some people want to force the Biafrans into a marriage they never signed up for. Millions of people are still losing their life up to this day because some group of criminals want to keep the status quo of the evil people. And millions of people will continue to lose their life until that very entity, that British business is destroyed. Nigeria is a British company, only there to serve the purpose of the British, only there to serve the interests of the British. This is the truth, the undeniable truth that some idiot would not like to talk about in their conventional media. But I thank you that we have some freedom here to speak about those idiocy of the zoo. And because of the freedom we have, we will speak about them without minding. We are not going to miss words. My fellow Biafran that are watching, there is nothing called one Nigeria. It is a fraud, a scam, and it is a disease. When you see any human being that claims to be normal, if you see anybody that claims to be sane and he is promoting and advocating for one Nigeria, the first thing that have to come to your mind is to know that that person is a fraudster, a born fraudster. Naturally, the person is a born fraudster. It is only somebody who is a born fraudster with a fraudulent intentions that we continue to preach one Nigeria in this time that we are in 2024, when the economy of the zoo has come to ground zero, when the division in the zoo has entered another gear. The idiots that took the life of Biafrans in order to maintain their one Nigeria, we have prayed that Chukwu Okeme will keep him alive until Biafra is restored. And Chukwu Okeme have been answering our prayers. He's going to be around. After the declaration of the restoration of independence of Biafra, then he can go. Because we want him to see the evil that he has created, how they ended up. We want him to see the fulfillment of the promise of our eternal leader, Dim Odumogojukwu, to him before he leaves. My own fellow Biafrans, wherever you are today, do not allow the propaganda and blackmail of the enemies to hold you. Do not allow their lies to stop you. Excuse me. Do not allow their criminality to disturb you. We must continue to do what we have to do. Every plans of the enemies of Biafra is going to come to naught. Whatever plan they have made in the secret and in the open, whatever intention they have to keep us down, it is not going to work. Because we are on our way out. We are on our way out. We will definitely get out of this zoological republic. No matter the plans of the enemies, no matter their propaganda, no matter their blackmail, we are already at the door and on the way out. My fellow Biafrans, today we are going to anchor this our program with a video that was made by Arise Television. The interview they gave to the man that is still living in bondage. The man that every one of you know that is still living in bondage. They call him Kenneth Okonkwo, who told us that Andy did not explain to him very well. But today, we know that Andy have explained to Kenneth Okonkwo very well, and yet Kenneth Okonkwo have chosen the path of the devil. Everybody knows that the battle today in the zoo is the battle between good and evil. Kenneth Okonkwo have decided to choose the path of evil. As he has chosen the path of evil, evil is going to follow him. Whatever plan they are making in any corner, in any angle, whatever propaganda, whatever blackmail, it is going to end in this generation. Every fraudulent plan they are making to steal the freedom of the Biafra people, to sell us out because of their political career. Their end has come. But it is good. Today, Biafrans can identify their enemies. I have always told you that the enemies of Biafra are of different shape, of different religion, of different ethnicity. They are everywhere. The instruments that the enemy is using to keep us down, they are everywhere. Nigeria is a fraudulent country, a country where only fraud, lies, and deceit will earn you power. You are chosen by how many people you can deceive, how many lives you can waste, how fraudulent you can be. That is what determines your position in the zoo. It's unfortunate. The man who cried and said he's living in bondage many years ago, later we thought it was a movie. Today, we can see him fully embracing that bondage, and he's very comfortable with it. With all the informations available, he comes online to speak grammar to confuse himself. It is not that he doesn't know the truth. He actually knows the truth. Because the video I'm about to play, when you see him starting his comment, you will think this man is reasonable and responsible. He said something that is fact. He stated facts. But in that fact, you will see him covering that fact with lie because of his stomach, because of what he eats. He deviated from the fact. And that's what I tell people. The only difference between us and the human rights activists and the idiots in the zoo is because we are not only seeing the problem of Nigeria, but we have the solution. And we are going ahead with the solution to solve the problem. That is different. It is not enough to identify the problem. Solution is most important. Do you have the solution? I told Chukwu Okike, when it comes to Biafran people, by the grace of Chukwu Okike, the solution is available. The only thing is that the political idiots and criminals have refused to see reason. They have refused to listen. And they think by their lies and propaganda, they can hold us ransom. But in 2024, under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra, it is a different ball game. It is a different ball game. You must listen and you must understand. We have come for the restoration of Biafra and nothing else. And it is Biafra first. You can continue to deceive yourself for all I care. All things worketh for good to them that love Chukwu Okike. My fellow Biafrans, we have to go straight to this very message today. Let us listen to this very program held in Arise TV and we will digest it. We are about to expose the evil empire zoo and those who are working with them. We will not stop. We will not stop. No matter what they do, we will not stop until Biafra is completely liberated and safe. Let us listen to this very program.
Trilled the statement by Nigeria's former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, retired, that the country's civil war of 1967 to 1970 was fought to keep the country together and not a question of defeating any part of the country. He made the statement in commemoration of his 90th birthday, which was celebrated by dignitaries and political bigwigs across the country. Speaking at the birthday Thanksgiving service held in his honor at the National Christian Center in Abuja, Gowon said the war was fought to unite the country as one entity and ensure the reintegration of the eastern region with the rest of the country. Well, for this conversation, we now turn to Kenneth Okonkwo, a lawyer and politician. He will examine whether the purpose of fighting the civil war has been achieved 54 years after it ended. How truly united is Nigeria now? What are the headwinds against Nigeria's unity, and does the national rally its people towards a united country? Good to have you again on Arise News. Thanks for joining us on Newsday.
I hope you had the question that was asked. But my problem is that this question is supposed to be posed to Gowon himself. Gowon said he fought a war to make Nigeria one, to keep Nigeria united. The question should go to Gowon. This Nigeria you took the life of millions of Biafrans for, is it one today? Your fight to keep Nigeria one that made you to deviate from an agreement reached. Looking back now, after so many years, do you think you took a right decision? Was that the right decision to take? If you know what is happening today, or you know what you know today, will you take that decision? And the question is, go on. Is Nigeria one today after killing millions of Biafrans? This question is supposed to go to Gowon directly, not to Kenneth Okonkwo. But nevertheless, they pose the question to Kenneth Okonkwo. Let us see how Kenneth Okonkwo will respond to this question.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and thanks to viewers for joining us.
So let's start, with your thoughts on the comments made by General Yakubu Gowon that the Nigerian Civil War was fought to keep the country together and that it was not really about defeating any part of the country. What do you make about this? What do you make over this?
Well, first of all, we must understand that war in itself is a display of anarchy. When you talk about war, that is lawlessness at its peak. So when you say you are fighting war to keep Nigeria one, no. You fought the war as a manifestation of your incompetence in the management of the crisis that was then part of Nigerian history. And let me explain what I mean. Before independence, the colonial power retained the kind of brainwashed the Nigerian people to maintain their ethnic cleavages, and they needed to make Nigerians live in that disunity so that they could continue their colonization against Nigeria. So they made the North, for instance, to believe that being educationally disadvantaged, they should not rush into independence because of the likelihood that they will be dominated by the...
I want you to pay attention to every single thing Kenneth Okonkwo is going to say here, because we are going to catch him when he's going to change. He is now making us to know that the division, the ethnic division in the zoo is created by the British. And they intentionally do that to manage the manipulation of the people in that region. I agree with him. In this explanation, he's trying to tell us that the British manipulated everybody and they planted this seed of discord and confusion. They manipulated all the ethnic groups and then used that manipulation to control them in that very area. I want you to take note of this very thing that he's saying. I agree with him. But we have to listen closely and watch this man, what he's about to say, before we judge him. Let's go.
Unity so that they could continue their colonization against Nigeria. So they made the North, for instance, to believe that being educationally disadvantaged, they should not rush into independence because of the likelihood that they will be dominated by the more advanced southern Nigeria. And the North bought into that. And that was why we were delayed from 1954 to 1960. But the actual thing is that Britain just wanted more time to dominate Nigeria. So after independence, that mindset that the South is likely to dominate them remained. And the North was always at every slightest chance, reminding the South that we did not intend to be one country with you because we are suspecting your domination. But the 1966 military coup Pure military coup has nothing to do with ethnicity or anything, even though people who organized it were predominantly from one ethnic group. But that reinforced the belief by the North that these people, we said it, they want to dominate us. And then they carried out a revenge coup in 1966 July, which was meant actually to separate from Nigeria, not to keep Nigeria one. But the Britain also reminded them that the resources are in the East. So if you leave Nigeria, we are going to support the East. So you better run now that you have acquired power to maintain Nigeria as one. And that made them to have a rethink. And by that time, a lot of Igbos, for instance, have been killed during the pogrom, during the massacre. So there was an entrenched suspicion between the ethnic groups. And this led them to go to Aburi for a conference, and they reached agreement. And it was still Gowon who came back and reneged on the agreement, which inevitably led to the bitter war. And after the war, Gowon declared again, no victor, no vanquished, and promised to reconcile, rehabilitate, and reconstruct the Southeast, which he failed again to do. So all the available opportunities for him to make Nigeria one and consolidate that unity, he was not able to do. But let us make one point clear, that after a while, when he himself was thrown away by some of those his colleagues, that was when maybe he recognized that what happened in 1966 was a military coup and not any ethnic coup, because he himself was thrown away by the same military people. I wonder which terminology we use to describe the ones who threw him away. But one thing is clear. After that, it looks as if he went into theology, had a rebirth, and he came back and genuinely went through our Southeast apologizing and asking for forgiveness for his role in the Civil War. And we know that though the Southeast has been marginalized and ill-treated in that war, which was not caused by them, we know that Gowon has tried to make certain types of penance. We should forgive each other because hostilities need not last forever. So I can submit respectfully that ethnic chauvinism, the youthful exuberance of the military young chaps that took over government, who were actually very impressionable at that age, their inability to manage the crisis contributed in the disunity that resulted in the Civil War. We must learn to forget and to forgive so that we will move ahead as one united Nigeria. I remember.
This is where this man, after his eloquent speech, after speaking and delivering the fact, the true situation of Nigeria, the ethnic division that cannot be mended, cannot. This is almost 60 something to 70 years now. After 60 something to 70 years, somebody is still advocating that people should remain in a destructive marriage that they didn't sign up for. Somebody is still advocating that people do not have the right to make decisions of where to be. You are still promoting one Nigeria. This is the height of idiocy. And these are the people who are only about their own personal interest. It is because of the personal interest of this man, that is why he is here, from here now, advocating the one Nigeria, after he has stated clearly that even from the onset, the evil seed was planted by the British. And the purpose was to create that division because they know it is possible. Wars were fought for no just cause. Intimidation has continued. And there is no remedy, no plan for us ever. After 60 something to 70 years now, the reconstruction, the rehabilitation, and the reintegration was not done. And yet, look at a man who claims to be educated. He is sitting here and he's advocating for one Nigeria. What a shame. And these are the kind of people you see in the zoo. Why Nigeria will never ever succeed. These are their funjas you have in Biafra land. When they start speaking eloquently, even when they know the truth, because of what their belly will eat. This man continued to live in bondage. Hear him.
We are actually very impressionable at that age. Their inability to manage the crisis contributed in the disunity that resulted in the civil war. We must learn to forget and to forgive so that we will move ahead as one united Nigeria.
This man
said when he came back.
This man has forgotten that even before the civil war, before the amalgamation, the division has been there. It is not even the civil war that brought the division. From the onset, Awolowo never believed in Nigeria. He called it a geographical expression. From the onset, Tafawa Balewa never ever believed in Nigeria. He told Zik in his face that we are not one and we cannot be. But today, you hear somebody here spilling nonsense from his mouth. You hear somebody here talking about one Nigeria. You hear somebody talking about managing what difference are you going to manage? What are you going to manage? The people you call your founding fathers said that Nigeria is not, they are not one. Your people you call your founding father, they said it. And look at you here, speaking, talking rubbish. Hear him.
Civil war. We don't need to fight another one. But he is going to go to war to fight if Nigeria is ever threatened again.
This man is a liar. Ojukwu never said this nonsense, this idiot is saying. When Ojukwu said he will fight again if it is there, papers carried it. I am going to look for it and play it. Ojukwu have made a clear statement and said, let my people go, even after he came back. On several occasions when he attended the program, he made mention of let my people go. Why is this man intentionally telling lies on our eternal leader, Dim Odubegwu Ojukwu, that Odubegwu Ojukwu will fight for Nigeria? Which Nigeria is he going to fight for? Which Nigeria? A man whose Biafran flag was placed in his casket when he was being buried. Ojukwu never stepped away from Biafra up till then. There are video evidence where he spoke. There were video evidence where he called, let my people go. There was a time when he said, I will fight again if. And this idiot is saying that Dim Odubegwu Ojukwu promised to fight for Nigeria. What a shame. And this is only what their stomach can preach. Because this kind of idiots fighting for political position, fighting for political relevance. This is another FFK in Biafra land. Today he's talking from this side, the next minute he's talking from on that side. After all your explanation, look at where he has landed. That Dim Odubegwu Ojukwu was ready to die for Nigeria. Shame on you. Shame on you for saying that about our eternal leader, Dim Odubegwu Ojukwu. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Of the military young chaps that took over government, who were actually very impressionable at that age, their inability to manage the crisis contributed in the disunity that resulted in the civil war.
There has been disunity before then. There has been disunity before then. There has been massive disunity before then. And that is why they saw that revolution as Ibuku. Since 1945, Biafrans have been massacred. You claim to know history. You didn't know that your people were attacked in 1945? You didn't know that? You didn't know that? Before the so-called coup, the hatred has been there. The division has been there. Even during the election, when Awolowo told his own people not to vote for Dr. Nagaskiwe, you didn't see that. How come you ignore all this? And you are here talking rubbish that Dim Odubegwu Ojukwu promised you what? I don't know. Idiot.
Learn to forget and to forgive so that we will move ahead as one united Nigeria. I remember what Ojukwu said when he came back from exile.
You are a liar. Ojukwu never said whatever you want to say here. It's a lie.
He said, we had fought one civil war. We don't need to fight another one. That he is going to go to war to fight if Nigeria is ever threatened again.
You are a liar. You are a liar. Ojukwu said, I will fight again if. He equally said, let my people go on video. It's a pity I can't lay my hand on those videos and bring. How dare you denigrate Ojukwu, a man that was buried with Biafran flag in his cups, in his casket. Biafran flag was lowered with him. From the time he came back till his death, he never denied Biafra. You punk. You don't know what you're saying. Only speaking for your stomach. Only speaking for what you are going to gain.
I stand by that. Nigeria being the hope of the black man. Nigeria being the hope of Africa.
You see him? That Nigeria is the hope of black man. Nigeria is hope of Africa. This is people who British mentality have consumed their bone and bone marrow. How is Nigeria the hope of Africa? Hope of Africa with insurgency, with lies, blackmail, and fraud? Is that how you're hope of Africa? Is that how you're hope of Africa? A country, they claim country, so a claim country that cannot defend itself. You cannot produce the food you eat. What example are you laying in Africa? Today, Burkina Faso is getting away from their slave masters, removing everything that has to do with enslavement in their life. But your president is bringing back the national anthem of the slave master. Is that what is going to make you great? Is that what is going to make you? How dare you think that Nigeria is going to make you great? A company meant for British, created by the British and for the British. A place that was merged together without your consent. You were forced together without your consent. In the beginning, you made mention of the British manipulating the regions. Manipulating the regions for their own benefits. And look at you here now. Speaking that same places that were manipulated by the British is the place that is going to make you great. That's going to make Africa great. You must be insane. Deceiver and clown.
Nigeria being blessed and in our enlightened self-interest, the capabilities and blessings of Nigeria will be better harnessed.
Nigeria has no blessing and no capacity, no capability. The people that have the blessing are individuals. There are individual citizens, and most of those people are from the southern part of Nigeria. They are from the southern part, Biafra land to be precise. Nigeria has no blessing. There is no blessing upon Nigeria. Nigeria has nothing to do with God. Nigeria is created by Lord Lugard. It is for Lord Lugard and by Lord Lugard. For the interest of the West. How dare you? How dare you come to promote lie? How dare you claiming to be intellectually sound? Meanwhile, you are empty.
If we come together, live together under one united Nigeria,
live together. Live together. Go and tell Buhari that.
Based on equity, unity, peace, and justice.
Where are you going to find equity, unity, peace, and justice? Where are you going to find it? For the past 70 years, from independent up to days, almost 70 years, you haven't found it. You haven't, and there is no step and no plan to get it. Where are you going to find such kind of company you are dreaming of? Where are you going to find it? Where on the planet Earth? And there you are, spilling lies. How old are you? Definitely you are still living in bondage.
Nigeria will achieve its aims. I support the opinion that we should move ahead now as one united Nigeria.
Look at the clown. You move ahead with who? You want to move ahead with who? Who are the people you are talking? Who are the people you are calling Nigeria? Is it the Fulani Janjaweed? Is it the people you are talking about? Is it the Fulanis from the Sahel that have taken over the northern part of Nigeria? Are you talking about the part of Nigeria that they have installed Sharia laws? Are you talking about the areas that have been taken already by the terrorists? Or are you talking about the southwest that have been hijacked and they do not want to see the Biafrans with their eyes? They do not want Biafrans to participate in anything that is Nigerian politics. Is that what you're talking about? You should be ashamed of yourself.
And I'm willing to fight if Nigeria is threatened. Let me
hear him where He's willing to fight. You think this is Nollywood movie, right? You think it is Nollywood movie. Good luck. We have known you. We have seen your face. You are willing to fight to keep your one Nigeria. You are willing to fight to keep the fraud going. You are willing to fight to keep the enslavement of your people. You are willing to fight to protect your evil empire. And we, the Biafrans, are willing to take you down. Every Biafran have seen your face. We have known your antecedent. Now we know you and we know you better. These are part of those who are holding our Supreme Namazin Nandekano in captivity. This we are hearing here is the mindset of every political idiot in Biafra land. They are ready to fight and die for their one Nigerian fraudulent entity to protect their political idiocy, to protect their political criminality. They are willing to die. These are there. You have seen their face. That is why when we catch them, we show it to you for you to understand. You don't know people who are holding you down. Look at an idiot. He says he's willing to fight and die for one Nigeria. We have had you. We have had you. You have made yourself an enemy to the Biafran people. And we have had you. We will take up the challenge. And going forward, the Biafrans will identify you as an enemy. We are going to identify you and we will treat you as the terrorists that you are.
Let me point out that presently in Nigeria, what is causing disunity is no longer ethnic chauvinism and religious fanaticism. It is now the incompetence and corruption of
your political jingoism and idiocy cannot deceive anybody. Ethnicity continue to play a huge role. Religion continue to play the major role in that country called Nigeria. We are diverse people. The diversity in Nigeria is a destructive one. The only solution is that every region should go their separate ways and practice whatever they want to practice on their own. As long as we do not have the same value system with the people in the north, nothing is going to make us to be together with them. We cannot be part of the piece of the graveyard. Countries are built based on value system. Every country you go in that are succeeding today, they are all created and built based on value system. People of the same value system. United States have one value system. Japan have one value system. The UK have one value system. Every country can think of this planet, Earth, they have one value system. And where there are clashes of interest, they split and people go according to whom they are. They split up to down to religion. That is why Pakistan went away from India. And today they are doing very, very well. That is why the USSR was split into pieces. Every country that walked out of USSR today, they are exploring. They are doing wonderfully well. But look at somebody who claimed to be intellectually sound. Look at him disgracing himself on national TV because of what he will eat, because of political position that he will never get.
The leaders of Nigeria that have inflicted hunger, hardship, degradation, deprivation on the citizens.
It is not about
making them too poor. And when you're poor, even to adhere to theology is very difficult because there's no reception to theology when a man is hungry. An angry man is the hungry man. A hungry man is an angry man and is easily irritated no matter what. So the threat to our unity today is poverty, which is...
The threat is not poverty. The threat is not poverty. The threat in the zoo is value system. We do not have the same value system. It is not about poverty. There are so many countries that are poor, and yet they are living happily among themselves. There are many countries of the world where there are extreme poverty and they're living peacefully and managing their life. It is not about poverty. It is about value system. What is happening in Nigeria today, the insecurity in the north that is taking the innocent life, is not about poverty. The major issue and cause of the Boko Haram, they said that Western education is not acceptable. That is Boko Haram. These are people who want a different system in the northern part of Nigeria. Their value system is not the same with the people in the southern part of Nigeria. Boils down to even to the Oduduwa people and the Biafran, we do not have the same value system. As long as there is this clash of value systems, there will continue to be fight. There will continue to be trouble. There is no way you can expect we, the Biafrans, to be in the same country with people who value animal more than human being. It is not possible. People who are ready to take the life of a human being because of an animal. How can you reconcile that? How? Each time these politicians come online, they capitalize on poverty. Oh, it is poverty. Oh, it is poverty. Oh, it is not. We don't care about your poverty or whatever. It is not about poverty or infrastructure. What nonsense you are talking about? The value system is not the same. We do not have the same value system with the people in the north. The diversity is a destructive one. There is no resemblance, no meeting point. Just like the same way the USSR broke into pieces, the same way India broke into two, the same way Singapore separated from Malaysia. That is what is to be done so that people can live among themselves peacefully within people that have the same value system. That is the only solution. Until you accept this, you will continue to wallow in your idiocy.
It's orchestrated by the incompetence and corruption of the ruling class. World Bank report just gave a report that more than 129 million Nigerians are poor. And fuel price is down 1,200 naira per liter, unsustainable. And naira has been depreciated to the point that you have 1,700 and something naira per dollar. And you can see electricity. In 1 week, we have celebrated more than 3 national grid collapse. And some people are still pretending that they are the leaders of Nigeria. No, they are leaders of darkness, not leaders of light. And they are now the greatest source of our disunity. And let me point out, free and fair election is the only solution to our disunity now.
Finally, he has come to where he is a professional. Election. Everything this idiot is talking is boiled on politics. Politics, making themselves relevant. You are talking about election. Have there ever been any election in Nigeria? Now you see why these idiots cannot accept the fact. The truth is that the very first election that was supposed to make Nigeria a nation was rigged. Was rigged. Somebody that is working with the INEC has come out and said that Nigeria has never ever conducted a fair election from the creation of that zoo up to this minute. No election has been fair. And there is no plan to have a fair election. And you see this Kenneth Okonkwo coming here to say that election is... You can never get it right. The election will always be rigged because the interest is not the same. The election will always be rigged because of the value system. The North believe that they are born to rule. They not believe that with their religion, if you are not part of them, you cannot be on top of them. It's against their religion. That is their belief. So whatever you are doing in their politics, they have already manipulated it to make themselves have the highest number. And there is no way you can have a credible election in the zoo as it is constructed. Why do you keep on deceiving yourself and deceiving people? The core problem is the value system. The people in Biafra land, Southwest and the North do not have the same value system. Whenever there is this conflict of value system, things will always go wrong. It is always about what I will get, about my people, Igbo presidency, Hausa presidency, Ijaw presidency, Yoruba presidency. That is what you will continue to hear. You will never have a sane and sound politics because the value system is not the same. Why are you deceiving yourself? Because you are scared of living in a sane country. You want to have your own fraud that you people have nicknamed national cake. You are preparing yourself for your own fraud. That is exactly what you are preparing for. You are preparing your life and your own self for your own fraud. That is why you come in the national TV and you are talking out of point, including those people who are questioning you there. All they are doing is to promote a narrative to deceive those they can deceive. But I bet you, we the Biafra people cannot be deceived. We know whom we are. We know where we are coming from. We know we do not have the same value system with other people in that area. And the only alternative is for us to go our separate ways, build our own nation, based on our own rule and honor and obey our laws. In Biafra, election will not be a problem. Our prime minister have said it. Election will be like celebration of Christmas, the same way you have in Western world. That is how it will be. Not in the zoo. We will not be part of it.
If we have the ability to choose our leaders in a free, fair,
you can
credible, verifiable periodic election, then we will say that our will be imposed on the leadership of Nigeria, and they will give us the dividends of democracy. Anything short of that is going to threaten the existence of this country, not because of ethnic chauvinism or religious fanaticism, but because you cannot sustain a diverse people living together in abject poverty.
It is very easy to use all those terms. It is very good to speak flamboyantly and speak Queen's English and begin to confuse people. But everything you are saying here is trash. The major problem of the zoo is value system. And you don't build a country based on people of diverse value system. You build a country based on one value system that everybody has to follow. That is how countries are built. You cannot match people together and expect to have a sane country. It does not happen. So remove this, your political nonsense that you are spilling out there. It doesn't work anywhere and it will never work.
Permit me to come in on this point. And I like your oratory prowess when articulating what Nigeria should be.
Telling
as
you
a
what you want to hear.
entity.
That's what Nigerians want to hear.
But if that is the case, why is it that Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, someone you know very well, is being almost forced to explain his congratulatory message to General Gowon? Because the likes of Simon Ekpa and several others are saying because he's desperate for power, he's beginning to cower. Some are saying that he's desperate to become president, so he's now going soft and he's trying to belong. Hence, he's doing what he's doing, and he's trying to explain the reason why. That's to show that probably we do not see ourselves as one.
It is clear we are not one. And whatever you hear about Peter Obi is what he's doing. Peter Obi today is running to the north, tying turban in his head, meeting the southern of Sokoto, defending the north more than his own family, personal family. And he's doing all those nonsense because he wants to be the president. That is why today he will embrace Gowon and raise praises on Gowon, addressing Gowon as a peacemaker, somebody that created the most divisive and destructive situation for his own people. A man that was superheading the enslavement of the Biafran and took away all the wealth of the Biafran people and gave them only 20 pounds. A man that wanted to render us useless. A man that wanted to wipe away the entire Biafrans. All in the net of keeping one Nigeria. Today, is the Nigeria one? Is the Nigeria one today? And he saw Peter Obi coming to speak eloquent, to eulogize him, simply because he wants to get his own national cake, his own fraud that they have baptized with national cake. It is nothing short of that. And let's see how this punk is going to respond.
Well, let me say that all the protests, all the agitations you're seeing Nigerian over, like I said, they are results of manifestation of marginalization, manifestation of injustice, manifestation of poverty. And it is everywhere in Nigeria. You just have the Yoruba nation agitators who submitted letter to the Prime Minister of Britain that they want a separate country. You can see that Boko Haram is
route. What I want to find out from you is why is Mr. Obi's statement of congratulations to General Gowon hitting up the polity is the big question. If we see ourselves as one Nigeria.
Well, you should be prepared to ask Obi that when you see him. I've always said that it is good for a leader to always think before he talks. In other words, before you make a statement, it must be a statement you have thought through, and you should be able to stand by it. You should not be, a fair weather kind of leader that when they push you this side, you will explain. When they push you this side, you will explain. You should be able to articulate your view at any point and stand by it. However, like I said, no human being is infallible. He does not need to explain if he is sure what he's saying, that he believes in it. But if he needed to explain and he explained, then you should hold him responsible for his own actions and for his own words. Let me tell you something. I believe in unity of Nigeria. I believe General Gowon made a whole lot of mistakes.
Continue to believe.
Because he himself prevaricated on a lot of things that would have prevented the war, even when they were by his own initiation. And so, when you say Peter Obi made a statement, and then he's clarifying, there's nothing wrong in clarification. However, there is a need to always be sensitive, and then be sure of the statement you want to make, so that you don't begin to want to pander on all sides. I've always said, it is good to stand on one side, and then, whatever consequences it is, then you take it. I don't have anything against anybody saying anything. It's a free word, freedom of expression, but you should be able to stand by your word. I don't think it has anything to do with the unity of Nigeria, because what Nigerians are looking out for now, like I said, is competent leaders of capacity. So if he expressed his opinion and withdrew it or modified it, that is his right to do, and he's entitled to it.
Now, Mr. Okonkwo, you said earlier, that the factors dividing Nigeria is not ethnic or religious affiliated, but you said corruption and bad leadership. Yep. However, some analysts, believe politicians usually use the divide and rule tactic. They use ethnicity, they use religion.
He himself admitted that the British used it. British planted it, and British continue to use it, and they infuse it in Nigeria. It is part of the Nigerian system, the evil system. It is part of it.
To divide Nigerians in order to win election, like we witnessed in 2023. So how can Nigerians, as a people, how can the electorate rise above this very common gimmick?
Speak all this, so that let me not speak the one that will nail me here. But I always hear of Yoruba Ronu, I don't even know what it means. However, after doing all those things, he lost his state. After saying Muslim ticket, he did not even impress anybody. He still had the least votes as in relative to the opposition. So they exploit that tendency, but Nigerians have outgrown that. They win by rigging, they win by electoral violence, manipulation, and corruption. They don't win anymore by ethnic sentiments and religious fanaticism. That's what I'm saying. That the problem we have now is that their corruption of not being able to organize free and fair election, abuse of public power for private gain. It is no longer ethnic. I mean, you can't go to the north and tell a northerner now that you're a Muslim and he should vote for you because you're a Muslim.
You are a joker. You are a joker. Until the kingdom come, the northern Nigeria will continue to vote according to their religion. Just be speaking grammar. This is how they deceive themselves. This is how the value system is not the same. A northerner will always vote for somebody of his own religion. Continue to deceive yourself. Once they get into the mosque and the message is being preached, it is over. Continue to deceive yourself. This is the lie they continue to tell. The truth is very, very clear and open. The diversity is huge and large. The value system is not the same, and there is nothing you can make to match it up. People will continue to vote according to their ethnic line and according to their religion. The people in that contraption corner will continue to vote according to their religion, according to their ethnicity. If you like, continue to deceive yourself, continue to paint a different picture. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't change anything. They will continue to do it.
But he is suffering now under a Muslim ticket. You can't go to anybody in the South, in the Southwest, and say, vote for me because I'm from Southwest. That is where the Abing power came. So I agree with you that some of these leaders, because they don't have anything, any policy to show to the people, they try to exploit such primordial sentiments. But they are fading away, even as these incompetent and corrupt leaders are fading away out of the hemisphere of Nigeria. Nigerians must rise in the interest of a united Nigeria, for the sake of the black man, for the sake of Africa, and for the sake of all of us, knowing that our diversity is our strength.
Nonsense.
Knowing that united
diversity is not your strength. This is another lie. Diversity is not your strength. The diversity you see in Nigeria can never be your strength. The fact that you are living with a Janjaweed who values his cow more than your life cannot be your strength. The fact that you must give up your land for you to survive and live cannot be your strength. The fact that somebody will come and tell you that he believes that he is born to rule. The fact that somebody believes that as long as you're not from his religion, that you cannot lead him. That cannot be your strength. Why are you deceiving yourself and deceiving others? This is the biggest lie of all time, that diversity, the diversity you see in the zoo is a destructive diversity. I come back to value system. The value system is not the same, and there is nothing you can do on the planet Earth to make it work. Every country of this world is built based on value system. The countries that have disintegrated based on value system. It doesn't matter how many numbers they are. People that have the same value system, they go their separate ways and build a nation. Look at them. They are doing very well everywhere you see them. They are all doing excellently well. Why are you running away from the truth? Why are you spilling lies? It is obvious you are living in bondage only for your stomach.
Knowing that we will achieve economy of scale if we are together. Let me give you an example. If this country is divided into 6, what it means is that each of those 6 must have their own army, air force.
So what? What is wrong with that?
Navy, police,
yes,
differently.
Yes.
Meaning it will cost us 6 times to.
Why do you use that to us? Are you an idiot? You should be an idiot to be using us. You and who? Because you and who? Divide the country, let every region go their separate ways, build their navy, build their army based on their resources in their area. There is nothing like us in that. Every region have to incur their own cost according to what they have. What is the problem with this man? What is in your brain? What is in your brain? Even if you have 1,000 countries that break into pieces, everyone will have their own government, their own police, their own army, according to their own capacity. That is why today in the world, you have people who are the world powers. You have some countries that have fleet of aircraft. There are some that have few. You have some people that have thousands of soldiers. You have some that have few. You have some people that have some great armor card. Some have few. You develop yourself and get whatever you need to defend your own territory and
govern Nigeria. What is causing us now once? Do you?
An idiot. Stop using us. Once you disintegrate, there is nothing called us anymore. Every region goes their separate way, and each section will manage themselves according to what they have.
You think the British, they are not wise when they amalgamated the South and the North? They did not tell us that the reason is so that they...
You are an idiot. You just told us at the beginning that the reason why they amalgamated people and forced people together was to manipulate for their own self-interest. You said it by yourself at the beginning of your message. You made mention of it in the beginning. At the beginning of your speech, you told us how the British manipulated the people to divide them and rule them. How the people preach to the Hausas that the resources are in the north, in the south. Don't leave the south. You preached about all these things, the manipulation of British, and now you are now telling us how wise the British were to make it easy for them to rule. And now you want us, because of that now, to... Are you not insane?
Will achieve lesser cost of governance. And it has nothing to do with trying to make us to live together. We should take advantage of that. Take advantage of economy of scale. Take advantage that
you are
when
insane.
we live together under rule of law, there is no challenge we will not overcome. We are building a more progressive...
When you live together, you cannot overcome any challenge. The challenge of Boko Haram has been there now for 20 good years. Have you been able to overcome common ragtag Boko Haram? Have you been able to overcome Boko Haram? Instead, they are recruiting them into your military, recruiting them into your police. What have you been able to overcome? You claim you can overcome every challenge when you are in Nigeria. What challenge have you been able to overcome since independent up to date? Mention one. What challenge have you been able to overcome in Nigeria from independent till today? What challenge have you been able to overcome? Deceiver. You are waiting for your own fraudulent money, national cake, idiot.
And perfect union as we go on. It is a process. It's not an incident. Building a more perfect union. Even United States, they are still progressing in building their union. So whatever challenges we have, every Nigerian should know that it's surmountable and should not always be thinking about dividing Nigeria and separating.
You are insane. The only solution is dividing Nigeria and separating it, because for more than 60 years, it has been retrogression. The United States you are mentioning are progressing. United States is in progression. But the contraption called Nigeria, from independent till date, it has been retrogression. How dare you compare your zoological republic with the United States? Every other nation of the world, including the Burkina Faso that just get themselves yesterday. Burkina Faso today, you can see them increasing. But in the zoo, what do you see? Retrogression. In Burkina today, it is progression every blessed day. Go and read Burkina news. You see them progressing. How dare you tell us things we cannot be, that is not obtainable? How dare you tell us not to talk about division? Division is the only solution. Disintegration. It's the only solution to save life. To save life. To create security. To create good economy. That is the simple solution. And if you are scared to embark on it, get out of the way. The Biafrans are on top of the game. And we are going to see it through. You stand on our way, we will crush you. Already you declare yourself an enemy of the Biafran people, and we will find you when the time comes.
Nigeria, we are a united nation, indissoluble and indissolvable under God.
Did you hear this idiot? Indissoluble and dissolvable under God. Idiot. Which God are you talking about? Which God are you confessing in that name that doesn't exist? Which God? Is it the God of the southwest, or the God of the north, or the God of the southeast? Is it the God of the Biafran people, or the Dudua, or the God of Arewa? Which God are you talking? Why are you bringing God into the evil orchestration of the British? What has God got to do with the British Empire, the British business? What has God got to do with the establishment of the British? What has God to do with it? Why are you bringing God into it? Because you know that our people are religious. Now, after spilling your lies, you want to cap it up with religion to confuse us. But I bet you the religious enslavement have gone away from us. We are sound and sane. and we know the God we worship. We know that Chukwu Okike Abiama has never at any point in time created Nigeria, empowered Nigeria, or stood for Nigeria. Chukwu Okike Abiama is waiting for us to make a move and establish a nation where he'll be worshipped in truth and in spirit. And that nation is Biafra. A nation that will set every African nation free. A nation that will set every indigenous person free. That is the nation we're about to create. Don't bring God in this your idiotic analogy, which does not hold water anywhere. Repent before it is too late, because the train of Biafra is going to crush you.
And we should move on in that capacity.
Do some Igbos share this sentiment? Will be the big question.
Ask him who share this sentiment with him. 99% of the Igbo Biafrans are going home. 99%. We have already conducted self-referendum, and that self-referendum recorded more than 50 million. It is not a joke. It is not a game. It is not a game. It is reality. Look at this idiot spilling lies. How many are you? How many are you? You are not up to 1%. You are not up to 1% in Biafra land, not even in Igbo land. You are not up to 1%. Answer.
For those who went through the war and those who were told about the war, maybe the Generation X might not be able to relate, but when you talk to every Igbo trader in Nigeria, maybe in Lagos, for example,
tell him,
and you talk to probably upwardly mobile Igbo men in their 50s, their 60s,
tell him
they do not share the sentiment, because hence we have people that are sympathetic to the causes of Nnamdi Kanu, apologies for the likes of Simon Ekpa. They still have a lot of cult following. Talk to us about this, because when you speak like this, you seem to almost ignore the fact that when you look to your left, you look to your right, there are people that still believe that they have been wronged, and that one day, they will still go to utopia. Utopia.
Good. Now, first of all, I am a Nigerian from Igbo extraction, and I'm very proud of that. You just said we are traders. Yes, we are traders and we are travelers. And so always there will have to be a preference between, for a larger space for anybody who by nature and nurture is a traveler and is a trader. And
the larger space that we need as Biafran is not Nigeria. The larger place we need is the world. That is why we are traveling across the world. You see, when they talk about this Biafrans being trader who travels, Biafrans travel, they can't stay in one place. Nigeria is too small for us. It is too small. Nigeria is too small. We travel the world. That is what we do. Our exploration is across the world. The world. We are talking about the world. We are people who goes around the world investing. Stop talking about how many investments do you have in Nigeria? Go to Ghana, you see Biafrans doing marvelous there. Go to other African countries, you see Biafrans. Go to European countries, you see Biafrans. Go to America, you see Biafrans. That is the vast. We're talking about the world, not about a zoological republic where your properties are destroyed on a daily basis. Not in a place where you are being marginalized, where your life is in danger. That is not the kind of environment we want. Stop spilling these idiotic lies. We are travelers, definitely travelers around the world. Nigeria is too small. It's too small for us. We explore. All we want is a home. We want our own home where we can be able to be flying out from. We can fly from our own home to any part of the world, invest and come back. And then we can use our own diplomatic initiative to protect our businesses across the world. As it stands today, the Zoological Republic cannot protect our business that are scattered across the world. They can't. We want a government that can stand for us and protect our businesses across the world because we are travelers. Why are these idiots? Why is it that their brain is so caged to their deceit that cannot hold water anymore?
so, in our enlightened interest, I know it as a fact that we will prefer a larger space.
You know nothing. The largest space we prefer is the world, not Nigeria. The largest space we need is the world as a whole. All we need is a stable home. We need a stable home where we can be operating from. The largest space we need is the world, just as we are already there. You go to the United States, you go to Canada, go to Australia, go to Europe, go to Asia. We are there doing exploit legally. We need a home where we can defend ourselves. That is the space we need, not Nigeria. Idiot.
Because our nature demands that. Our nurture demands that. In Igbo land, there is a proverb. Of
course, Akuro fuebe tirimam obuana Nigeria ka na ekiri mmom ezi obuana Nigeria ka na ekiri mmom Nigeria go fuebe. I na-eji Europe. We go to Europe, we go to America, we go to Australia, we go to Canada, we go to Moon, we go to Iraq, we go to Iran, we go to Saudi Arabia. Keeping us in Nigeria is keeping us ofuebe.
And again, in Igbo land, there is a proverb that onye ije ka onye isi awọ akụkọ.
Exactly. Anyị ejeka ije. We are scattered across the world. Our own worker is not in Nigeria. You are still limiting us. This punk is still limiting us to a small area called the zoo. Why are you caging us? Why are you caging us? All we want is our own home where we can be able to operate. After doing our business, we can come back home, settle down, and we have a government that will protect us and defend us. That is what we want. Stop caging us and putting us in a cage.
And again, so these are the things that will make an Igbo man to travel out of his comfort zone, no matter how comfortable he is. And having that nature, I am telling you, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe preferred a united Nigeria.
You are an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, how did he end up? What did he achieve? How is he remembered in the zoo today? Which of his children today is doing well? Which one did you hear his name? Punk.
Ojukwu preferred a united Nigeria.
You are a fool. Ojukwu never preferred a united Nigeria. Even up till that, Ojukwu was saying, let my people go. Ojukwu went to trade fair where they were idiots, we are building market there. He told them to return back home and build it at home. Ojukwu never at any point in time preferred your so idiotic Nigeria. Stop spilling lies. Stop spilling lies. Ojukwu at any point in time has never ever preferred one Nigeria. The last time Ojukwu subscribed was when he was talking about regionalism. That was what Ojukwu went for. Ojukwu was not talking about your idiotic one Nigeria where people are being caged. Ojukwu, the last option he gave them was regionalism. At Aburi, that was the last option he gave. He has never at any point in time advocated for your idiotic Nigeria. Up till that, that was why he made a promise and said that whenever he's been buried, that the flag of Biafra should be put there. And it was done.
Kenneth Okonkwo preferred a united Nigeria.
Of course, Kenneth Okonkwo, a fraudster, a man that is living in bondage. You prefer a better Nigeria. There's no doubt about it. And you are going to end up with it. One Nigeria is going to happen to you as it is happening to Ojus Okaro, happening to all the idiotic people, happen to Soludo. It's going to happen to you. The same one Nigeria is going to happen to you. Kenneth Okonkwo, we know you are living in bondage. There's no doubt in your own case, you are living in bondage and you preferred that fraudulent entity where you can go and take your own fraud that you call national cake. That is what you are fighting for, jumping from one party or the other. The FFK of Biafra land, that is what you are. Just like your friend Fanika Yere, that is exactly whom you are.
I know, as a matter of fact,
you know nothing.
That as a trader and as a traveler,
you know nothing,
nature,
and you are not even a traveler. You've not traveled, you've not seen nothing.
Better for us as Ndibo. Ndibo are agents of development, and they go about carrying development to anywhere they go to. I recall what Buma Mawa said when we were in a presidential campaign. Buma Mawa stood on a pulpit and said the only true Nigerians who believe in Nigeria, they are Ndibo. Because everywhere you will see them. And when you see them, they build their homes there and they live there and develop there. It was quite unfortunate that before 1966, our quest for developing anywhere we stay was manipulated and misconstrued to be a quest for domination. I am happy it's no longer in the minds of Nigerians to think in that pattern.
Look at this idiot. The language of domination is still on top. I don't know where this man is getting his information from. It's very, very, it shows that this man is not sound. He doesn't even know what Nigeria is, what's happening in Nigeria. The language of domination is even stronger now than ever. Go on social media, you see how they are fighting against the Biafrans. Go and see the way they are battling Biafrans, still using that same language of domination. The key word, domination, is still very, very strong in the heart of every one Nigerianist. In other ethnic groups, it's still there. That Igbophobia is still there. And look at this punk. I don't know where you are getting your information from.
And in that formula, because I remember one old man from Kano, he said during the June 12th, when the Igbos left north, he couldn't find a part.
And so,
I think Yakasai.
What has that got to do with us?
One spare part he needed to repair his car.
And so,
and he said, let's face it, we need each other. In this country, we need each other, especially in the Igbo, who are the agents of development. I told you before that what is threatening our unity now is the incompetence and corruption. What is happening in Lagos? Why are Igbos feeling uncomfortable? Because there are some people like Bayo Nonuga who will tell you
what is threatening the Igbos more is people like you. People like Kenneth Okonkwo is what is threatening us the more. Because they are fraudulent, they are criminals, and they don't have truth in them. There is nothing that is threatening us more than Kenneth Okonkwo. You are a threat. You are a big, big, big threat. And if we don't deal with idiots like you, you will never learn your lesson.
Those are aliens in Lagos. Can you imagine? Aliens in Yoruba land. Somebody being an alien in his own country. Is that not the incompetence and corruption I'm talking about? Abuse of public power for private gain. If you cannot convince the Yorubas to vote for you when you are a Yoruba man, you have failed. If you need to vilify another ethnic group, these are the things that are bringing about the sentiments of marginalization and the instigation of people saying, let us have our own home if you cannot guarantee our safety in the general Nigerian country. And this is what I'm saying, that we must sit down to ensure that our country is built on equity, justice, and fairness.
Idiot.
And you will see that every Nigerian will prefer to be a Nigerian. I am a movie actor. That's my primary constituency.
You are still acting movie. That is your problem. You are still acting. You are still living in bondage. You think that we are talking about movie? You think that the restoration of Biafra is a movie? You think that the life of Biafran people, more than 5 million that were dead, is a movie? You think it's a movie? That is your problem. And we are going to teach you a lesson. You're going to learn in the hard way. You will learn in the hard way.
Where we started Nollywood was in Lagos. And you know what? It was an Igbo film that was shot in Lagos. And the whole Nigerians accepted it. If they had anything against Igbo, they would not appreciate that movie, Living in Bondage. And that's actually remade my mind that, look, nobody is interested in marginalizing anybody. Spirit of excellence cannot be rejected, no matter where it comes from and from whoever it comes from. Well, so we must learn to be excellent in this country, excellent in leadership, excellent in whatever we do, so that we will be acceptable by everybody we are living with. Togetherness, it shall be the key, and one Nigeria should be supported. It's worth living for. And if need be, it's worth dying for.
It's been a very interesting time, speaking with you on Newsday. We do appreciate you on.
You have heard from this idiot, this clown. You have heard from him. You have heard from him. Sometimes when we see this kind of idiotic people online, we need to come and teach them a lesson. We need to come and debunk their lies, because these lies, if we continue to keep quiet, their lies will begin to fly and it will look like the truth. That is why we must decimate them. My fellow Biafrans, everyone has to be awake. Don't allow these idiotic people to deceive you. Don't allow them to deceive you or distract you. The only way we are having today is to get out of the zoo. We have nothing with them. Only freedom. It's only freedom that we are looking for. Only freedom. There's nothing else. It is freedom that we are pursuing. There is nothing anybody can do or tell us that we are going to listen to except our freedom. And we will pursue our freedom to the highest level. To the highest level. And I want to play this for Kenneth Okonkwo. This message goes to Kenneth Okonkwo. Let him listen to it. A fellow one Nigerian did this.
I'm asking a very pertinent question. Is Nigeria working for you? Major General Muhammadu Buhari retired, knew the solutions to Boko Haram till he finally became president. He asked ex-President Jonathan to resign because of insecurity. He cried empathetically. He promised to end Boko Haram in 3 months. But now, he's telling us he's done his best to arm the military. Why isn't he resigning? Governor Fashola knew the solutions to providing stable power supply till he became Minister of Power, and darkness pervaded the land. After trying hard and giving excuses like he only plays a supervisory role, the ministry was assigned to someone else. Power grid, still they collapse. The NSAS protests were tagged insurrection. In fact, someone said Aisha Yusufu ought to be in jail for instigating violence. Then farmers were beheaded in Borno. Same person asked Aisha Yusufu to lead a protest. Aren't these people supposed to forbid hypocrisy? Is Nigeria working for any Nigerian today? From leaders hoarding food for the poor, receiving kickbacks from government contracts, to farmers needing permission to go to their farms. Is Nigeria working for you? Why is Zamfara's gold for Zamfara and Niger Delta oil for Nigeria? Why is Hisba destroying alcohol, but their state governments receive federal allocation from monies received via taxation, including tax on alcoholic beverages? Why are some federal roads abandoned to bandits and kidnappers? Who is in charge of Nigeria's security? The president is talking tough this time. Most times, he's as shocked by the rest of us by the absence of good governance under him. Regardless of his campaign promises and the manifesto of his political party, Nigeria has rolled back in terms of development. From Naira continually losing its value to our recently launched locomotive trains breaking down in the middle of nowhere. Nigeria has to be working for some people, though. The government can do no wrong. To this set of people, their money isn't being stolen, even if the money is being borrowed, leaving debts for their own children to pay in future. Even if the leaders don't use public institutions, from sending their children to Ivy League schools abroad to getting medical treatment abroad, some people who have nothing and we need to donate money for their medical bills if they have a serious ailment, continue to hail the obvious lack of good governance till Nigeria happens to them. Then they get a little pissed. May Nigeria never happen to you. Say amen. We deserve better than the political class who go home with millions monthly to represent people who can't even afford to feed themselves. I am Olajumoke Alaode James. Nigeria is not working for me. Is Nigeria working for you?
You have heard it, and I want the idiots who call themselves Kenneth Okonkwo to answer it. If Nigeria is working for him, it is not working for the Biafrans, and we are going out. And I want you to hear this message from the from the supreme leader of IPOB, Mazen Nandekano. Hear him.
And we are not going to stop. I want the world to understand me very clearly. We are not going to stop. It doesn't matter what it takes. It doesn't matter how many lives they extinguish. It doesn't matter the genocidal tendencies they bring with them into our land. We are not going to stop. Everybody listening, everybody watching, everybody remotely interested in justice and peace must understand this. Our destination is freedom, and that very place we're heading to is Biafra. And nobody, no soul on this earth can stop us. Instead of Biafra not to come, we all perish. I want our adversaries, our enemies to understand this very, very clearly. We are not going to retreat, not one iota, not 1 inch, because Biafra must come. Because the hatred have continued to this very day. As I'm speaking and addressing all of you right now, they are still arresting, extrajudicially murdering people in our land, people who are alien to our culture, our way of life, our tradition. They are in our land directing their people to slaughter, to kill without mercy. Unfortunately, those we regard as political leaders have connived with these people to ensure the decimation of their own population. That is the type of nonsense we can no longer condone. As you all know, there is no significant Fulani presence in our land because our fathers taught us how to fight. And we are doing so today without apologies to any idiot. We're not going to apologize because we have been apologizing for nearly 50 years. And we have not gotten anywhere in terms of our collective advancement and development in the damnable zoological republic called Nigeria. That is why we must continue what we're doing. And that is why anybody who is remotely interested in the affairs of our people must understand this, that we are determined, doubly determined. 50 years, or should I say 54 years, is a very long time, and 51 years since the end of the war. But now that we have come, or should I say now that God Almighty in heaven has determined that we should come, we are not going to relent. We are not going to do anything whatsoever to jeopardize the sanctity and the holiness of this very mission. We love our people. We love every ethnic nationality that makes up Nigeria as it is presently constituted. We have no hatred towards anybody. We love peace. We love life. We love the progress of other people. But we are in a country where people hate us for no reason, where people despise us for no reason. And we can no longer go on apologizing. And Nigeria as a state, the entire Africa as a continent must acknowledge. The same way they acknowledge the genocide in Rwanda, they must rise up to acknowledge the genocide in Biafra land, or else there will be no peace nor development in the whole of Africa. And I'm not saying it apologetically. I am stating a fact that ought to be forcefully demanded for. And Biafra itself must be restored for those who have come before us, for their sacrifice, for their courage, for their gallantry and their bravery. It is a very good thing today that one of the co-hosts here is our brother Dele, a man that I cherish and I appreciate very much. And also the very excellent work that Mazi is doing. But let us make this thing very, very clear. We are wronged by the Nigerian state, by every ethnic group in Nigeria. I know that my good friend and brother, Obadiah Mailafia, rang me and apologized a while ago for the role that they played in the massacre of Biafran people, the role that they played in aiding and abating a very unlawful invasion of Biafra land, because all Ojukwu asked for was restructuring. The same thing we are arguing for today. Ojukwu went to Aburi to argue for restructuring. Ojukwu did not go to Aburi to declare any state of Biafra. He never went to Aburi to declare any war. Ojukwu went to Aburi so that all of us in Nigeria, including those from the Middle Belt, from the West, everywhere can have freedom. The same thing we're asking for today. They twisted the narratives. They changed our history. They turned it upside down. They made us the villain. They tried to demonize our general, a man of peace that went to Aburi in Accra to go and in Ghana to go and negotiate for peace. A peace that Britain prevailed upon Gowon not to implement. But over the years, we've been taught that we are the aggressors. Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back. It is a good thing today that some notable Nigerians are on this very platform discussing what transpired 54 years ago. Most have tweeted to say, may it not happen again. The only way to ensure that this will not happen again is the existence of a free, sovereign Biafran nation. That is the only panacea, nothing more, nothing less. Before we came here, Ladipo Market was on fire. These vandals and vagabonds are in our land, killing people relentlessly. As I'm talking to you right now, they headed some people from Enugu to God knows where, maybe to go and kill them. And you have governors, you have political leaders, you have those who aspire to high office. They're all there. Nobody's talking, nobody's speaking, because they have a lot to benefit and to gain by us being Fulani slaves. Something that can no longer continue. Something we are not prepared to tolerate. That was something I said rather very fortuitously very many years ago. I said during one of my broadcasts on Radio Biafra that for Nigerians to understand that God is upset with them, that every tribe in Nigeria, every ethnic group in Nigeria will experience what we passed through during the Biafran War, that they too will also become refugees. And today, there are IDP camps everywhere. People that thought they were safe before now are fleeing their homes. There's something that happened to us between 1967 and 1970. And that is why our appreciation and our thanks for those men and women that fought to keep us safe can never, ever, ever be overestimated. We will continue to appreciate them. We shall continue to honor them. And I thank all of, those who are non-Biafrans. I understand that some people who are Biafrans came on this very platform and trying to play the script of their masters. That same divide and rule by saying there is something called Southeast and South-South. All bunkum. I have said it many times on many fora, on many platforms, that everybody in the East, we are all one people. I don't understand why people are hung up about this divide and rule of Gowon. It was Gowon that created Cross River State. Gowon created River State. Not because he loves the people of the South, not at all, but because he wanted to divide us. And we must rise up. We must rise up to the game of these people and say no to them. Now that Yoruba and Igbo are one, do you see them trying to play that game anymore? Now that Biafra and Oduduwa are one and inseparable, bonded together in one, do you see them playing their stupid games? I don't know why some people will come and say they're from Nigeria, they're from South-South, in order to perpetuate that very division which the Fulanis have cleverly exploited over very many decades and many years. I don't know when we are going to learn. And the sooner we learn, the better for us. I thank all of you once again. And this very effort to recognize the genocide against Biafrans continues until the United Nations and the whole world rise up to this very challenge and acknowledge that a great deal of injustice was done to Biafrans. Tomorrow is our sit at home, complete and utter.
You have heard from our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The message is very, very clear. The message is very, very clear. And I bet you, if you are listening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you will never be deceived, just like our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. And for everyone that is listening, I want you to know that the restoration of the independent state of Biafra is set. We are just waiting for time. It is all set. And I want you to hear from the Prime Minister of Biafra, Republic of Nigeria, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra.
In Biafra, Africa died. And in Biafra, Africa will rise. Today, there are movements all over Africa to liberate Africa from neocolonialism. Biafra will not be exceptional. In 2011, Biafra became a charter member of the Organization of Emerging African States. And in December 2015, the Organization of the Emerging African States called on the Nigeria government to hold a referendum on Biafra self-determination within 90 days, including the option of the total independence as the Republic of Biafra, a transitional phase of not more than 180 days. My fellow Biafrans, it may surprise a lot of people to know that this actually happened. Nigeria ignored it. In 2016, the Organization for Emerging African States repeated the call for referendum as the sponsor of the All Biafran Conference of Accra, which took place in 2016. My fellow Biafrans, in October of 2020, the Organization of Emerging African States repeated its demand for referendum on Biafra self-determination to the government of Nigeria. All these calls were ruthlessly ignored by the Nigeria state. The Organization for Emerging African States, after deliberation, has endorsed the Biafra Republic Government in Exile self-referendum on Biafra for many, many reasons. And one of those reasons, or some of those reasons, are as follows. Nigeria refused to administer or permit a third party to conduct Biafra referendum. The organization also noted that the African Charter of Human and People's Rights guarantees the right to self-determination of everyone, including Biafra people. Israel Declaration of Independence. I want you people to understand that the Declaration of Independence, nobody is talking about the agreement and how Nigeria become a country from amalgamation to fake independence to today present Nigeria. They put it under the carpet because nobody have risen up to challenge them. Nobody have risen up to question the existence of Nigeria. Until now, we are questioning it under the Biafra government in exile. I will question it with gun, we will question it with bomb, we will question it with civility, we will question it diplomatically, and we will question it politically. And that is the multi-dimensional approach. That thing they are avoiding to discuss, that particular existence of Nigeria or continuation of Nigeria, they have been avoiding to discuss, will be forced to discuss. They will be forced with the activities and the actions of the Biafra government in 2024. That's where we are going. That's why all these shenanigans, all this their regional government, all this nonsense you see happening are happening today. And they have not actually started hitting the point, because the point remains the continual existence of Nigeria as a country. They are not discussing it. What was the agreement of 1914? What was the agreement thereafter? Independent. What happened for after the 100 years of Nigeria? Nobody is discussing it. Our own British mandate terminated in 2014. That was when the British mandate terminated. When they say you have 100 years, after that we decide. The foundation for the liberation and independence of Biafra has been laid by this government, and it is very, very strong. We build this particular foundation of the liberation on solid rock. Are you not seeing it? We are not shaking. I am standing very, very strong, making sure that I'm taking the bullet that they are firing at Biafra people, because their target is you. They believe that once they take Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out of the way, they will come for all of you. That is exactly what is happening in other parts of Nigeria, because nobody is there to stand on the way for them. And they are annihilating people, killing them, sending them to IDP camp. I told them, you see this face, okay, deceive very well. To deceive you. The momentum of the Biafra liberation today have necessitated all the discussion you see. Everybody is talking. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Why are they keeping him? Some of them claim that he was not fighting the way I'm fighting, but you kidnap him. Some of them are now addressing him as a gentleman, but you went and kidnapped a gentleman. They say, oh, he's more reasonable. He's not, but you kidnap him. What were you thinking? All of them contributed money. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was speaking, It was their headache. They couldn't sleep every day. Oh, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he's destroying Ali Igbo. Oh, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he's doing this, he's doing that. Today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no longer destroying Ali Igbo. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no longer causing problem. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no longer is the good man. He's the only man now that is very reasonable. And I have not even started because you see what Agaku Nigeria Igwe. Agaku Nigeria Igwe. And you know the next level is by taking all their terrorist barracks, taking all the government houses. That is the next level we will go because it is part of the defense of our land. These places are places where the attack against our people are being planned.
My fellow Biafrans, I appreciate every one of you that have been with us on this program from the beginning to the end. As we are bringing the program to an end, continue to support the Biafran government the best way you can. The only solution for us as Biafrans is Biafra. There is nothing else except Biafra. Only Biafra can give you freedom. Only Biafra can give you security. Only Biafra can give you good economy. And for those who are not Biafrans, we are not fighting against any race or religion. We are not after any individual. We are standing against the institution called Nigeria that is holding us captive. If you make yourself a willing tool in the hand of this institution, we will come against you. Our fight is not against anybody. It is against the institution that is keeping us down. May Chukwu guide and protect everyone that have been part of this very message. Please, if you have not yet like this program and share it. Like this program and share it so that others will get it. Don't keep it to yourself. Like and share. So everybody will get the program. Very, very important. Also, if you have not yet subscribed, subscribe also. Subscribe to the platform. Touch your notification bell so that you'll be notified when I come online. May Chukwu come and guide and protect every one of you. Guide and protect our Liberation Army. Guide and protect our media warriors. Guide and protect our de facto government. Guide and protect our members of the cabinet, all the comrades. May Chukwu come and guide and protect our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. May Chukwu come and guide and protect him, secure him, give him wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. May Chukwu come and guide and protect our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We commit him into the hand of Chukwu Kanu. No weapon formed or fashioned against us shall prosper. I thank you all for being part of this program. I appreciate you, and we will see you again tomorrow by the grace of Chukwu Kanu. Before we go, hear this for the very last time. Go to sleep with this message, and I bet you wake up sound.
We are going to do wonders. I want you all to understand that we are in a very big battle. Battle for freedom is not for lily-livered people. It's not for kids. Battle for freedom, they throw bombs, rockets for people to get freedom. So freedom is not meant for people that are too emotional. It's not meant for people that somebody will talk this and talk that and they begin to shiver. No. I am born for Biafra to come. And I'm going to help Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to get Biafra. Believe me. Go and mark today's date. I want to assure Biafrans, so long as you continue to stand on your freedom, I will be there for you. So long as you continue to maintain that you have a right to live, I, Simon Ekpa, will be there. Any day, anytime.
O Mary Wonizu, Wonioya, Abakare, Mama Baora, Bulaburi Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Bulaburi Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Bulaburi Mary Nnamdi bu onye for. Omeri Wonimizu Biruya Abakare Mamanda Ora Unapuri Meri Nandi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2, now Python that's 3. Unapuri Meri Nandi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2, now Python that's 3. Unapuri Meri Nandi.
Manakano, what do I take on? I can have one get on. Someone upon making a what you then. How could say with them? They could buy no. What about the quago? What make it a quago? What make it a quago? It's not good about Tobia, not good about Tobia. But let's have your flack of the line. I will go me. Angela made me say, I will go me. Brother, Biafra go be do my daughter. I think people know what can I know. Daniel and Yako be do Mumano. Oh, yeah, the Malafari. Tini, I'm not a metal if you remember like a metal if you pass them on the Kunali, you know, Kunu. It's not your convention came with 29 November, Latino. Now, but December 30, declare like the Aflano. University Melum go be do Malafari. It's a new way of Patano. On your number with the phone name. Now, as a Patano be with the phone name. That's a Patano view that don't. If Fabiano, what I be a Flavano, I am Mano. I am a kiss a melody, my like I see a menu. That's not coming back I can do. May I give you an answer by a song and assistant you can. It's in a way I had them. Oh, yes, in order for your mayor of Funani. Of it's no way to Padoli. I am not even half Funayano. I just not kind of my other my way to Tina Kano. I just need to know what I think. What I know. Don't know. You can never get to what you do. I got to walk on. Don't know. I think they are to give rebellion. My mom is going to take you. My mom is to go there. My one wrote you for Congo Chapalone. I didn't go to my channel. Not on each other. I'm going to go to Aluna. I can't go to what you can. Okay, with you for money. How do I get a bag? No, no more melon. Not more apple. But I apple. I went down one apple more. Now, I look at that fire. Probably from my wife, go with you, my own way. I keep on up. I can tell you, if I'm not about to I don't know about to if you say they put on that. I think it's not dirty. Not gonna know it. But me like to be there, man. And I did that doesn't know. I don't know. But I don't know that's good for the fire that I tell you. And you not alive yet, but I'm not doing so. What the heck is how my father will have you were children to make a half an hour. But not alive, you have like a video mano. But not alive, you have like a video mano. That's what I do for you mean I told you. You man could be the mano. When you're no way, you put it out, you have like I went over. Oh, yeah, me. I cannot get another one on the car. I'm going to go to Santoluno. I am made up when I go. Leasing officer nobody ni no make na kuno. Ndeba no France no make na kuno. Germany no make na kuno. Nobody no make na kuno.
Ndewo.
Ndewo. No make na kuno.
Ndewo. Ndewo.
Ndeko bidiri malakalo. Atwa inje kono. Ekele kwange ekele anu dodo. Sabono kwanu make na eju. Mwoki ibe ọkụzi egwebe m ndị ekwuribe anyị nụ ọdụ m ekenekwa agụ ọdụ m ekenekwa agụ ọdụ m ekenekwa agụ na ngwụ wọbata obie na ngwụ wọbata obie gọbụletara anyị Biafra ka obi kedịrị anyị nụ alụrụ egbu ome na ndị na-eme m ife alụrụ egbu ome bụletara m Biafra ka obi dị ụmụ mmadụ odori ọkụ ife ịgbalụ n'akwa ka nna ya owulo n'isi gba na elu nya ka obi dị ụmụ mmanụ mmanụ afọ Tini kamna pametela lini fi même na kama mena lini fe ye pasie ngonu me
ndewo onye kwuru ka na-eme ọgbata obi ihe kwuru ka na-eme onye ọwụ na m ihe bụ agụ chụpụsịrị ndị zoo polisi na checkpoint na Biafra land.
O nwere ka ị ga-esi tigide ụmụazị ihe ofe ụbọchị ha kwụrụ kwechiri ọhịa anyị na-eme anyị nụcha ọgụ a anywhere afụrụ ihe riri ka ihe yiri ndị Biafra mgbe Usman Dan Fodio buru agha nke ya wee bata wee gbugide ndị ugwu wee gbuchie ha wee were ana ha sọnsọ that story ahụ akụkọ ahụ bụ ihe a na-akọrọ anyị akọgide aka ka Usman Dan Fodio si wee gbuchie ndị ugwu o wee bụzi ya datina onye sizi n'ugwu Awụsa wee pụta maa agụ ụra n'ala Igbo isisi agbakwana ejekwana dị ọgụ na ọ na-agbakwa daga maka ọrụ ihe a kọrọ anyị ndị a were egwu Igbo onye Awụsa maa agụ ụra ịgbachi ya nkịtị maka na ịma na ọ ga-ama gị daga mana ọ macha gị daga ahụ nwe ihe ị ga-eme ndị a wee were ụjọ wee jide anyị wee na-dagbuo onye ugwu mee gị ihe ịgbachi nkịtị ị na-edi ya mana onye nwanne gị bụ onye Igbo mee gị ihe o wee Biafra mee gị ihe isi ka egbuo ya nkịta nke echi maka na ịma na ọ naghị ama daga aga m agwa unu na daga anyị kịta abụrụzi against ndị Igbo daga anyị kịta bụ against ndị ahụ bịara ube anyị igbu anyị otu Usman Dan Fodio style anyị ga-ama ha ivu eva n'ụwa niile a daga niile ha malụ n'ugwu Awụsa anyị ga-amakarịa ha masef ebe a ka anyị nọ amachazi ya ewerezi onwe ya will now begin to idozi ana anyị dozie ana Igbo dozie ana Biafra ọ dịla anyị mma maka na ihe anyị na-achọ ka ọ dị onye ọbụla na mma ka ihe niile a na-eme na-aga aga onye nwere isi ọgụgụ ọ gụọ onye nwere isi eji alụpụta ihe o mee ya na-alụ ya na-afọ ya n'anya na-eme kọmpetishọn n'ọhịa na-eme ka ụwa dị mma onye ọbụla na-egori ndewonu otu unu kwenu kedu ihe a na-akpọ ya sef
otu nnọkọ
ezinụlọ kwenu otu nnọkọ ezinụlọ kwenu Biafra kwezuonu asị egwu nalametọ
ọbata obi eji ya odogwu nwoke ọ ga-adịrị gị na mma nna m ọbata obi daalụ a sị na onye na-eme
ụbọchị taa ụbọchị gị ọbata obi ụmụ Igbo ya echiwe gị ọzọ today ikwete na ọ na-eme
ọbata obi daalụ nna m a sị na onye na-eme ka m si eme ka m na-akpọ ọyịm ọma nke bụ eziokwu bụ ndị izu ndị ha yiri anyị egwu kpọọ ya anyị ụjọ n'ahụ mana ịgwaghị eziokwu kamgbe ụmụazị m wee kweghị n'ụjọ ahụ. That is why mbelecha anya like this obi aṅụrị na-akpa m ọ kachasị otu isi wee kwechikwuoro ebe ndị afọ nja nọ na-agwa ha eziokwu ọkwa ifuru sinsi iji agwa ha eziokwu ha anaghịzi abịa amanye anyị ụjọ ha na-amanye anyị bikos anyị ekwechirigo. Nna m daalụ nwoke ọma akwụ gị n'azụ ọmaka ma elu gị.
Ndewo maazị onye isi ala anyị ha sị na ịdara asụ Igbo mana a ga-emecha kweta taa maka na ihe ndị Igbo ka anyị nọ.
Ndị na-ekwu ihe a ngwana ya ka m asụ Igbo ha na-asụ Igbo ha na-asụ ụdị Igbo nna asụ ha na-asụ Igbo Abakaliki
mba nọ
ịma nke ọzọ